We are so pleased to have Rosa Wang here in the Chicago office today. She is visiting us from the UK and she works with our digital finance team. And we would love to hear more about you and what your role is at Opportunity.
Thank you. So I'm Rosa. I'm the Global Director of Digital Financial Services. I'm based out of Oxford, England, in the UK, where I've been living in Oxford for about 7 years. I guess I joined Opportunity shortly after moving to the UK, so I've been with Opportunity for about 6.5 years. Our Digital Financial Services program is really a program where we try to take the technologies that have been advancing so rapidly, so things like mobile technologies like cell phones, things like digital data, and we try to bring them to clients that have been excluded. So I call the program Digital Inclusion because we're aimed at people that have not yet taken part of this great digital revolution. So we try to address the underrepresentation of women. We're trying to work with those clients, potentially older clients, I think tend to be on the other side of digitally excluded. We also work with clients with lower literacy. So about 2/3 of our clients have literacy challenges. And most recently, we're trying to look at the ability to address clients with disabilities and really widen that inclusion lens and to see how many more clients we're able to reach. And that brings the way we like to characterize the program, we call it high tech, high touch. By high tech, we mean state-of-the-art technologies that are available as tools. By high touch, we mean that we do not get rid of the human element. Opportunity has, for over 4 decades, developed relationships and leveraged the community building efforts. And so we take very much an approach that is both high tech and high touch.
That's fantastic. Thank you, Rosa. What inspired you to join Opportunity and do the work that you do?
So before I joined Opportunity, I had been immersed for about 6 to 7 years in the social entrepreneurship environment. And what I observed was that the leading social entrepreneurs who had reached very large scale and were able to have great impact on the ground had some element of mobile technologies in their work. So maybe it was through cell phones, maybe it was through things like tablets or field tools and other things, but they had some element of mobile technologies. And so I was very interested in sort of pursuing that and taking it to groups that were working with clients on the ground that had not yet been part of this kind of inclusion work. But then when I came upon Opportunity, what drew me in was really the Christian mission, because my own sense was that the work remaining of those that had been excluded was quite difficult. And I wanted to work within a group that would often go and stay in a country or in different areas and environments where it might not make that much sense in terms of if you were running a corporate business or if you were trying to maximize profit to stay in that area. And I wanted to work with a group who was committed to the mission of serving those living in extreme poverty and trying to elevate them through the work that we do.
Oh, that's fantastic. It's really moving. Can you tell us about a project or an area that you're working on within digital financial services that you're especially excited about right now?
So one of the really exciting projects that we've been working on for only about the past 18 months is called interactive voice response. And by this is messaging, voice-based messaging. And so one of the constraints that we have on the ground is, of course, that, as I said, in Africa, for example, about 2/3 of our clients do have literacy constraints. And in India, that might be an even larger percentage. So although we are oftentimes using basic phones, because those are the phones that the clients might have, where the main medium of communication tends to be a text message, that would limit the nature of things that we can do, and that would limit the way in which we can engage with the client. So about 18 months ago, we started some pilots testing the interactive voice response. How would they go with voice messages, which can be recorded in local language, and which allows some of the minority languages. So we do have clients in many countries that speak a wide range of languages, so we could record it in various different minority languages especially. And then can we use that as a way to engage the client, to encourage them to think differently about what they're doing, and then perhaps to have some sort of behavior change. And so the first project we did was in Ghana. Our goal was to try to increase savings behavior because we feel quite strongly that improvement in savings is a great way for a client to accumulate wealth and to save for the future. And had a series of messages that both encourage the client, ask them about their savings goals, and accompany them alongside the savings journey. What we found at the end, I think, was very encouraging. You know, we did increase savings, so we had a large number of clients that increased their savings. Total savings had gone up, and that was very positive. But what was very pleasantly surprising was the way in which the clients felt that this was a very positive engagement. So we ran focus groups and we asked clients, you know, what did you think about this? For the Ghanaian engagement, a woman in our female staff member out of our Accra office recorded the message. And so she gave the messages we said they came from the character name of Ajoa, which is a common name in Ghana. And so Ajoa was the one delivering messages of encouragement and inspiration and also good information. And what we found was the clients were really, really engaged with this. So we would ask people, you know, like, did the messaging make you feel different or encourage you? And they said, yes, we're going to make our savings deposits today because we don't wish to disappoint Ajoa. Or a group of people turned up at one of the branches and they wanted to meet Ajoa because they wanted to show that they had brought quite a substantial amount of money that they had saved because they had been encouraged to have a more effective savings plan. And so the outcome of this was really positive because it said the clients felt that this showed the institution cared about them, that would engage in such a way. And we even had some people in the marketplace saying, oh, they went and told their friends, oh, your institution, your bank doesn't care about you as much because Ajoa didn't call you. So there's a little bit of jealousy involved there.
Healthy competition.
Yes, yes. And so I think this is a broad area that we call digital client engagement. And I think that as things like transactions increasingly become more and more digital or you know, through an ATM or through third-party sources and things, we need to look for ways to strengthen and develop good relationships among people. And so I think this is one of the best embodiments of the high-tech, high-touch. So the tech coming in the voice messages that can be broadcast to a wide number of people and then customized per client. And then high-touch because it strengthens the relationship and helps the person feel much more valued.
Absolutely. Is there a client in particular that you feel has been especially moving for you as you've been working on some of these projects and these programs? Is there someone that comes to mind that you feel has been especially targeted and impacted with this work?
So I think the client impact is what we're always aiming for. And so when we have introduced any type of digital service, we're always trying to get a sense of how does the client respond, did they like it, or were there difficulties or challenges? And of course, the majority of clients, they'll tell us that it's much more convenient in terms of digital. It can be much more personalized. But one of the biggest impact stories that has made a big impression and has helped us to continue and further our work has been some of our work in India, where we found many of the women in particular districts did not have their own phone and did not have the ability necessarily to use a phone. And so rather than going down the path specifically for mobile banking, we opted to have a program that integrated the work that in India that's been done on the national ID, where they've qualified people or the government has registered people onto a national ID program with biometric information, so with their fingerprints. And now a woman is able to authenticate who she is just using her thumbprint. So even though she can't read, this is a very good way of authentication and of making sure that this is the real person and then she can get access. So we've now connected accounts to this biometric access, and this means that the woman can then access the things that she's entitled to, whether it's welfare benefits or old age pensions and other things. And this has made a tremendous difference. If you just think back just a couple of years ago when these programs didn't exist and when we didn't have the infrastructure set up, what would happen was that welfare benefits would be distributed in sacks of cash to the village chieftain, who would then distribute it to the households. And in many areas, because of the culture and because of the patriarchal traditions, it would likely have been given to the husband. Should there have been some disruption in their family, then she would be left with nothing. So now, if you had the same disruption in the family, at least the woman would be able to go authenticate with her fingerprint and get access to her money. She would do this at a place that's serviced by what we call an agent or a financial agent, but an individual there to assist someone like this woman who does not read with the services. And so the work that we're directly supporting is to recruit and train more women as agents, so that the women in the village who don't read and who may not, for cultural reasons, be able to access a male agent would have places to go so they can have access to their services and to their money.
Wow, it's incredible. Well, Rosa, thank you so much for being here today. It was such a pleasure to talk to you. We hope you'll join us next time you're in Chicago.
Thank you.